Good evening, everybody. This is Dave Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson. I just want to tell you thank you guys for coming in tonight to join me in the Q&A. I will be talking about the timeline, the continuation from this morning, also from last week. I'll be going over some of the same timeline I did this morning for those who were not able to come this morning. I'll be talking also about um, uh, um, the fast and prayer for Daniel, as well as some other things that we have in plan for the upcoming efforts to find my son and to bring accountability and also to bring some justice into my son's case. So thank you guys again, like I said, for coming into this night tonight with me to join in with me to do the Q&A prime time. Again, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson, and let's get to it.
shelter from the storm. You keep me safe inside your wings. You are my comfort when life gets hard. You lead me to water to drink, and now I trust your gentle hand, even when I can't understand. I know your voice, I'm not afraid, walking with me at the same pace.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And I will continue to search for him. Thank you guys for coming in this evening's Q&A. I'm David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel C. Robinson. My son Daniel, a graduate from the College of Charleston in Charleston, South Carolina, a native of South Carolina, came out of Charleston with his degree in geology. He decided to go out to Arizona to expand his horizons, to take on to his career. And he landed in Phoenix, Arizona. And he's landed his first job with a company called Matrix New World. It's also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. This evening, you guys, I want to talk about that timeline of events of my son when he went missing on June the 23rd. Most of you guys know the story of Daniel Robinson. For those who do not know my son's story, if you can, please ask all the questions you would like to ask this evening. I will be trying to make sure I get the questions tonight. The ones, especially the ones I wasn't able to get to this morning, if there were some that I missed. Thank you guys for coming in on this Q&A. That's what the Q&A is for, to answer some of your questions. I will start by a couple things I want to say. There's one is to tell you all, like I say, thank you for coming out on this Q&A. I want to reach out and say that to many of you. I will start with Sophia here. Good evening to everyone. Hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. I will be ending the fast and prayer for Daniel during this Q&A. I will start it off with the ending of the fast and prayer for Daniel. And I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for joining in with me and my team for the fast and prayer for Daniel. Of course, we're praying for not just God giving me guidance and help me in my journey and my family in this journey to find Daniel. but also for other families as well that have missing loved ones that's going through a desperate time. A lot of them just going through this moment right now. As you know, in this country, thousands of people go missing almost every day. You get people going missing. So definitely just praying for everybody, not just my family, but pray for the other families as well. Thanks, Sophia, for putting that up there, the hashtag, by the way. Also, please help find Daniel.com, you guys. You can go to the website. Those who don't know about Daniel's case, you also can get information there. You can learn about the PDF to signing the petition, to donating, to creating flyers. You got the PDF for the flyers, and also information about any upcoming events, whether it's the searches, whether it's also events like we had before in the past. Dave remembers the Candlelit Visual to help bring awareness for other people's families as well. So, thanks to Phil for putting all these links. You guys, those who are not on the YouTube channel and probably streaming through Twitter or some of the other platforms, you won't be seeing some of the things that the moderators put up, except if I put them here on the screen. I did send links out for the YouTube to all those platforms. So if you guys want to jump in on the Q&A through those platforms, you can do that. That way you can see some things that the moderators like Sophia putting out here in the chats. Also, thanks, Sophia, again. Tax write-off donations here, you guys, for the Daniel Robinson Foundation. You guys definitely can go to the Daniel Robinson Foundation.org, and you can utilize that. So thanks so much for Sophia for putting that up there as well. The information about that. You guys know that we have a launch of the Daniel Robinson Foundation coming up. Also, thank you also, Sophia, for putting this up here. The flyers, you guys, like I said, you go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's a PDF there if you guys want to do those flyers, print those flyers out yourself. If you just want flyers, you also can reach out to us at pleasehelpfinddaniel@yahoo.com. Request those flyers. We will send them out to you. So thank you, Sophia, for putting that up there. And thank you, Anissa. Again, thanks so much for your super chat. I really appreciate you and your husband. God bless you. Thank you for the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel, hashtag justice for Daniel, hashtag call them out. You got them all today. Hashtag stand up and speak up. That's right. I'm gonna go start with the back and go backwards. Stand up, speak up. If you know something, you guys, that's what the tip line is for on the bottom of the screen. That's strolling across the bottom of the screen. It's the screen is definitely not for everybody. It's for that person or person who have direct information. I did get a tip today, that I had to look into as well. So I tell you guys, that's exactly what the tip line is for. If you have some direct information that's going to lead to finding Daniel, that's the place to go. If you want to remain anonymous, you can do so as well. 24 hours, 7 days a week, operators there. This person that left a tip today, for instance, is anonymous. I don't know who it is, but like I said, it's a lead that I do have to follow into. But one thing is also, if you don't want to talk to anybody on that phone, you can also text the word tip to this number, and you can still remain anonymous if you like. Also, call them out. Call them out. Thank you, Nissa, for putting that up. Hashtag call them out, you guys. The hashtag is there. Nissa put it there. We calling everybody, law enforcement, you name it. Those who are not doing some of those things they could do. For instance, I've been calling law enforcement out for Buckeye, to be specific. I did talk to a law enforcement agency before that felt a little offended. I'm not really concerned about feelings. At the same time, I'll try to make sure if they want to say direct, I'm being directly at the Buckeye Police Department, or some of the failures they had done. And, I had to call those things out. Those things that's not right, you got to call them out. So like the late John Lewis said, you see something wrong, say something. You got to say something. See something that's not right, you have to speak out about it. So definitely have to call them out. Saying when things not right. So also we're gonna seek for justice for Daniel. I've been fighting for justice, trying to get the FBI involved, trying to get Daniel's case moved to a criminal case, which it should be. We gave them, my investigator and I gave them hard physical evidence of foul play, but they refused to accept. And, we calling that out as well. We look for justice for Daniel. And so those are some of the efforts that I'll be doing going forward. You guys, I told you about this morning. We will be putting out the PDFs on the website. Look for those coming this upcoming week. We'll be working on the rest of this week. The PDF will be coming out, and I want to have a window between Monday next week and Thursday for everybody who want to participate. This you guys did on the Hike for Daniel. I really want you guys to really push this out and be prepared to look for this PDF and we're going to try to make sure that we keep those PDFs being sent out to these agencies in that small window between Monday and Thursday. They give it time to get there. You guys, my goal is to try to get it there before the weekend and try to get them all together to come around the same exact time, right? That's what's going to make the difference. So it's almost like a protest in a sense, but we're doing it from our own homes. For those who definitely want to join in, say we want you to continue to put out these PDFs that we will be putting out. You just put them in the mailbox, and we have their address and things which we will locate for you to address that you need to put the information out on. So definitely, thanks so much. If you guys can join in on that, I really appreciate you guys. I'm reading a little text at the same time. You guys, you can probably tell. Justice for Daniel, and also fast and prayer for Daniel. Today is fast and prayer for Daniel. It is the 22nd. Tomorrow's the 23rd. It's another month that Daniel has been missing. And I tried to do the fast and prayer each month that's close to the 23rd date. So the date, this Q&A is the closest to the 23rd date. And that's why we had the fast and prayer for today. You guys, that join in with me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anissa, for putting this up. I will be praying right now. Close off that portion of the day, the fast and prayer. I'm doing this because it is part of the Q&A, and I want to tell you thank you guys for joining in and also doing that fast and doing that prayer for me and my family, for my directions, also for other families that's out there that's suffering and have missing loved ones. So Heavenly Father, if you guys want to bow in with me, Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this full day of protection. Thank you for all your goodness and your mercies. Thank you for bringing things to light. Thank you for the tip that I received today. Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for touching people's heart and their minds and their soul to open up and do the right things. Also, thank you for the guidance that you have given me on the ability to be able to help other families as well in my journey to meet great people like the ones that's been helping and encouraging and doing everything they can to help in Daniel Robinson's case. My son, I'm really grateful for them as well. Bless them in their endeavors, their hearts, their minds, things they're needing of, every situation, Lord. And I ask you, Heavenly Father, to bless them as well. Also, those families who have missing loved ones that just have a missing loved one and they don't know what to do, give them guidance as well. Help them in their journey to find their loved one, bring them closures and to bring them the answers they need. Also, to help them find their family member alive, safe, and well. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for those victories. We thank you for this day to bringing us all together in one accord, in one mind, one heart. And that thing is to look out for other families as well as mine to help us, Lord. Thank God for all things. Amen. All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Again, you guys, for joining in for this day of fast and prayer for Daniel. You guys can also join in like Alyssa did here and utilize those hashtags. Those hashtags definitely help with the algorithms. Just like I'm asking you guys, if you can, please, by all means, hit that like, share, subscribe button. I really need you guys to do that if you can. It's very important to the growth of this channel. So if you guys can, like I said, today, of course, is fast and prayer for Daniel. But at the same time, you guys, you can hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also use that hashtag as well. That would help. That would definitely help with the algorithms, get this channel to grow. So again, thank you again, you guys. Also, I just want to mention really quickly here, so I don't forget. Also, this is the multiple sclerosis month. You guys, if you have any prayers for those who you know or may not even know that are dealing with multiple sclerosis, it's something that a lot of people in this country are dealing with, and we want to definitely, make sure we keep people in mind when we're praying, as well as our prayer for missing loved ones and missing cases. We also praying for others in different situations as well. I have a really close friend of mine who's also suffering, going through the multiple sclerosis as well, dealing with it daily, as well as another that I know that's supportive for this Daniel Robinson movement. So it's not an easy thing, but you know what? We can stand with them and keep them encouraged as well. Keep them in our prayers. It's definitely, like I said, it's an ongoing thing in this country that many of us don't even talk about. So again, thank you guys for that. And also, again, on the bottom of the screen there, if you have a tip for knowing anybody, knowing the information that I need to help bring closer to Daniel, please, by all means, utilize the number below. And that definitely would bring some closures and, for our family. Also, guys, if you want to reach out to me, there's a number there on the bottom of the screen. It's the public cell phone number, as well as the email. As you guys know, if you guys use the cell phone, that cell phone is always constantly busy. Sometimes it takes me a long time to get the messages, but I get to them. It just takes a while. But you can get to me also through please help find Daniel at yahoo.com. A team member of myself will respond to your email. So thank you. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. So I just want to put that information out before I get started. And since I said that, I just want to get started with what I'm here tonight to do again, like I did this morning. I did the timeline, and I want to continue on with the timeline. So if you guys want to join in with me, here we go. Just go ahead and do this timeline and start talking about these part of this Q&A. Go through some of the same thing I went through this morning. Try to go through it a little faster. That way I can get some of your questions. But I want to do this for those who don't know Daniel, the case of Daniel Robinson. Want to get some information about that, find out what's going on, and definitely want to make sure you're informed on that. So you get some of the information directly from me. Of course, my son Daniel Robinson. If you have seen him again, that's the information on this PDF. And the same thing, you guys. You look at this PDF. That's exactly what the flyers look like, except the flyers have a QR code for, so for you wants to be out there in the public, somebody can take their cell phone and use that QR code, and then they'll have it as well. The information, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. But this is the PDF, you guys. And on the bottom here, you see I have humanity speak. If humanity speak out. So if you have anything, being human, like I said for myself, I couldn't be human if I didn't go out and try to help other families as well in our journey, me and my family's journey. So allow empathy and courage to be your guide. Know something, you need to say something. If you know something, please by means say something. So that's the thing I want to really point out with this Q&A this evening, is that, for those people who know something, please, it's about time now. It's been over a year, almost 2 years that my son been missing. Now's the time to go ahead and get your conscience clean, and let's go ahead and help bring closer to my son's case. Also, you guys, my son is a graduate of the College of Charleston, graduated from the College of Charleston in 2019 in Charleston, South Carolina. He graduated honors. Daniel, see this picture here, very proud. Proud of, like I said, the family's proud. One of the great moments. I've been in the college a couple times already before Daniel graduated, of course, from his siblings. His sisters also graduated from this college. And, really, really, really good college. First of all, the program that he was in, the geology, was a good program for him in that school there. He wanted to make sure he take that energy he have, and also that knowledge and everything he learned in college to Arizona. But this was the night. This was the time where he enjoyed himself. And the day he enjoyed himself is about him, his accomplishment. He graduated with honors, and did very well for himself. Very well. I really was really proud of him that day. So graduation graduation day for Daniel. Also, this is the graduation night. I threw this picture in, you guys, from different from this morning. That was a really good moment for myself. This is every time I see these pictures, the two I utilize in the public. It's many pictures, but the ones I use for the public. And you know what, you guys, that night was very memorable. This is a night that Daniel ditched me. So this is a night that we all had a good time. He and I, we had our first drink together. We just kind of relaxed and went out that night to celebrate together as father and son. And then he ditched me for his friends late. So I just want to say it just like that. But anyway, just really had a good time with him. And like I said, is a very, very proud moment to be celebrating with them. Also, Daniel came out to Arizona. I'm gonna go through kind of quickly, so you guys can hear me go kind of quickly through the timeline, because I really want to get your questions this evening. This morning, I did take 2 hours, almost 3 hours, and still wasn't able to get the questions I would like to have. But definitely, Daniel went out to Arizona, started class with Flagstaff. Thought was coming back to South Carolina, but he decided to stay out in Arizona, and he started his career. Hey, look, Dad, I'm gonna stay here in Arizona. He moved into Phoenix, stayed with a friend or someone that he met from the job that will be working with Matrix New World, and he stayed with him for a length of time. I think about almost a month till he got his apartment. When he got his apartment in Phoenix, that's when his being by himself, I call it his manhood started. So he's a grown man doing his grown man thing. Very proud of him. Of course, he started that job in 2019. Matrix New World is also called Matrix Southwest Groundwater. They hired him on as a hydrogeologist. It's also called a field geologist. He's been with them for almost 3 years before he went missing. This is him, proud young man, just like Daniel. That's like Daniel. He's also going to make sure he's looking nice, make sure he's taking care of himself, and he's going to make sure he do his job in a professional way. Also, I'll just throw this up in June 23rd, 2021, when life changed for me and my family. Of course, Daniel, his mother, she and I, of course, are divorced, but it changed for her as well. This is the date that everything you hear about Daniel started. Of course, I had the pictures here of his mother. One of my favorite pictures again of those two. That's why I use this little baby picture with his mom. And that's one of my favorite pictures back then. And also just wanted to put a picture of him in the background because it's all about Daniel. And also one of the pictures of me and one of the other gentlemen doing our search. I think that search there was probably the second or third or so search. So this was pretty much the time when the vehicle showed up. Well, a lot more searching there, but with the time the vehicle showed up when we did this search of a mine. That is a mine that I wanted to put up because you'll see later on if I put the pictures up, you'll see the Buckeye Police Department looking at the same exact mine. All right. On June 23rd, 2021, Daniel was last seen, and it was from Roger. Well, he wasn't last seen from Roger, but this is how the timeline goes, you guys. Put Daniel last seen. He was last seen on June the 23rd, but this is how the timeline went. Roger from Roger is a guy, to explain who Roger is. Roger is a guy that Daniel hangs out from his job, Matrix New World. One of the workers there, Daniel became Daniel's friend. They go out to have drinks and things like that off from the job. Those two hang out, they're friends. But anyway, Roger from Matrix New World knocked on my daughter's door, and I think that was roughly around 3 o'clock that evening, and was inquiring if Daniel was there. Of course, she felt alarmed because first of all, he's asking about Daniel, is he's there, but the other part is, she didn't know who he is, and he explained he's Daniel's friend. She was wondering how he know where she lived. But he explained that away by saying that Daniel brought him there before, and but he must have been in the car. But say to be seen. The bottom line is she just felt uncomfortable, so she called me. You guys, I see is a daughter called David, her dad, of course, me. And she called me, and like I told you guys this morning, I don't know if she called her mother, but she definitely called me, and I had to make sure she was calm, collected, and we make sure that we both do our due diligence first. Those due diligence were to go check his apartment, which she did. While she was on the way over to his apartment, we're doing a lot of phone calls to check with friends, relatives, his mother, etc. Everybody who could think of to see if Daniel reached out to anybody. And of course, nobody heard from Daniel. He would not answer his phone. By the time my daughter got to his apartment, she didn't notice they had a living room light on by peeking through a patio door through the blinds, and she could see that. But his missing. So those were the first indication that something was wrong. It still was one of those foul play type moments for me. So I called the Tempe Police Department to see if they can do a welfare check. Right. When I say foul play type deal, his lights on, he's not answering his phone. We don't know what's going on went on in his apartment, and his vehicle missing. So to make sure nothing crazy happened, we needed the Tempe Police Department, which at the time I wanted to back up. Daniel left Phoenix and decided to move to Tempe after some time. So he was living in Tempe at the time. Tempe, Arizona is right outside of Phoenix, and he was living there. So like I said, I called out to the Tempe Police Department and tried to put in for that welfare check. But they diverted me to the Buckeye Police Department once I mentioned the words White Tank Mountains. Because they asked me dispatch asked me a little detail. I just, hey, look, I just know a guy came over and said he was looking for Daniel. from Daniel's job, and she's asked pretty much where did they see him last or anything like that. Anybody seen him last? I said, well, they say he was. Someone saw him near the White Tank Mountains or something. You know, I didn't know it was at White Tank Mountain Falls. I knew that was in Phoenix. So at the time, but the thing is, they diverted me over to the Buckeye Police Department, and that's where things get a little mushy as well. Then I called the Buckeye Police Department and to report Daniel missing. After some time, you guys, I first reached out to the Buckeye Police Department, try to get his welfare check, but at the same time, when I was reaching out to them, I look at the time, and the time was over 6 hours since anyone last seen Daniel, because they said around 8 o'clock that morning. You know, it's like I said, the company was always saying 8 o'clock at the time. I look at those hours, and I'm like, well, that's way over 6 hours. That's not like Daniel. Daniel, after anytime, he would never go over 6 hours to let us know anything. It could be his siblings to who. If he tell his sibling, I know anyway, because they tell me. Or if he tell me, I telling them. So we all know we have that kind of family dynamic where something is said, the others would know as well. So we definitely had that going. Of course. And again, you guys didn't, like I said, we ended up doing a missing person report. Tried to anyway. They made me wait an extra 3 hours because I was calling in too early. According to them, I had to wait 12 hours before I could report Daniel missing. So I waited those time out, and then finally got the report in. Of course, the Buckeye Police Department did take the initial report. I talked to Officer Cruz at the time, was his name, and he was getting all the information he can. Very helpful. Getting the information myself from Daniel's job to you name it. I'll do my due diligence along with the Officer Cruz, and then from that point, Officer Cruz did tell me that him and another officer will be riding up down Sun Valley Parkway in that area where Daniel was missing to see if he's stuck on the side of the road of Sun Valley Parkway. I later found out through the job doing the constant calling that no, Daniel wasn't on the side of the road. He was in the desert. So I asked Officer Cruz, can they go in and please go search my son? Utilizing a helicopter. He alerted me they couldn't do that at night, and but they'll do it the next morning. And so of course, Officer Haley, I believe his name was, came in the next morning to take over, and from that point, they said they was going to do the search, but then he called me back and said no, his higher ups, and you ought to see how this guy was talking. He made sure he was covering his own self, but he was saying his higher ups, he didn't have nothing to do with it. He went through a whole bunch of explaining, hey, look, that's what my bosses decided. He's a grown man. If he want to disappear on his own, he can. They unauthorized it and will not allow a flight. Of course, I've been calling for a couple of days. That's why I say you guys on the report, they said 25th, but it was actually the 26th. 25th, I still was having contact with them, asking them why they're not going out to utilize the helicopter. At the time, my auntie ended up calling from Pennsylvania, and whatever she said, they ended up telling her they was going to have the bird out. She was really excited. She called me and told me that they had the bird. So that's how those things went. You guys, I just wanted to make sure I put that up there for you guys to see here. June 24th, the Buckeye Police Department restricted a helicopter search for Daniel. Daniel's auntie intervened. June 26th, the Buckeye reportedly utilized a Phoenix Firebird helicopter. I want to put some information. These are the people I contacted once I hit the ground on the 26th. As I was coming in, as you guys know, I heard that they had the Firebird helicopter. I was even happy about it. Agencies I contacted at the time, as soon as I heard, of course, I was constantly in contact with the Buckeye Police Department. I spoke to the Tempe Police Department first. Once we hit the ground, my daughter and I picked her up. She met me at my hotel, and she and I was scrubbing Phoenix, scrubbing Tempe, everywhere, just looking for Daniel, just in case, right? And went to the Red Cross for help, and also tried to reach out to the NAACP. Also, like I said, you guys, the welfare check, of course, was with Tempe. That was on the 23rd. That was, of course, denied. That was later performed by the Tempe because the Buckeye Police Department reached out to them and asked. But of course, I'm gonna go back. That welfare check entailed them actually just driving up to the apartment complex. I call it a drive-by. They came, parked or whatever they had to do on the road, and they walked up to Dane's apartment, look at his door, and also just peeked through the little same window slide door that my daughter peeked in with the through the patio blinds. They said they ain't see nothing wrong, and that was it. What they call a welfare check. I had the impression that they would go inside because they are a Tempe police department, but they didn't do so. Like I said, they rejected doing so. Also, the Buckeye Police Department, I put in a missed report on the June 23rd. You guys also requested that welfare check. Like I said, they ended up contacting Tempe, who did exactly what I just told you. Also, the Buckeye Police Department, June 26th, they say they did a first desert search on the 20, which is on, they say 25th is originally on 26th. Phoenix Firebird helicopter, they say they utilized. This is the Phoenix Firebird helicopter, you guys, if you wonder what it looks like. The Buckeye they say they reached out to Phoenix. I told you guys I put in a FOIA for that. As far as it stands now, at first they told me there's no record of it, but now check in and say to double check, and now they're saying they're still looking, and that's been over 8 months, or a little over 8 months now. Also, like I said, that was the first they claim search. Also, spreading awareness. Once I got on the ground, you guys, I knew the first thing I had to do was get some awareness in Daniel's case. Communication is key. Started reaching out in social media, you name it. Just started trying to reach out to anybody I can. And I was reaching out to the local radio stations, newspapers, to the news media. And this is why I'm putting some of these things here. Mr. Floyd Galloway, the first person who gave me the opportunity to put Daniel's case out there in the air. As you guys can see on the table here, this is actual the way the flyers used to look. I told you guys those flyers used to be the size of a sheet of paper. Had them laminated, and it's really big. So it started off that way. All right. Also, had interviews with Josh Sanders, Nicole Grigg is another one, and but I don't have a picture here, her on here. But the thing is, he came to the hotel and did some interviews with me, held him in the stock, and pitched that to his organization, and who was able to start helping me get Daniel's story out into the air. Also, friends and family there in Arizona as well was able to come out to the hotel to start helping me get Daniel's story out locally. So thank you so much to the news stations who have done that for me as well. Like I said, it came out to these searches out there to help me, the local news coverage has helped me to spread awareness. I hate to block out the young man's face there, but he's one of the guys who came out. He's matter of fact, you guys, he's he's a celebrity of the Naked and Afraid show that comes on, and he's one of those guys that a survivalist, and so he came out to help with me. That's why he's sitting in the Razor. He and I was riding around the desert trying to do a search. Also, the interview with Ken, the Ken interview, you guys, the first thing I wanted to do, I want to tell you, I had to change the date from June, it's June 28th. I looked at the timestamp on the pictures and stuff. I put the 27th, but it's actually the 28th when I talked to Ken. And, that's 2 days after I arrived in Arizona. The first thing I want to do is see this guy. Had to tell me what he told the officers about what he last seen with my son. So of course those things sound kind of strange to me, but I just wanted to hear it from him. Also, you guys, from this morning, you can remember this is the man that showed up instead of Ken. Hey, they told Ken I was at the gate waiting on him, my daughter and I, and another person, and that was waiting at the gate. They say he said he was on the way up. Instead of him showing up, this guy showed up. This is not Ken. It was some other guy showed up who asked a lot of questions like he was suspicious of us coming to speak with Ken. Told him who I was. He still was asking a lot of questions. But yes, that's what I counted first. He pulled his truck up and then he turned it around and backed up to the fence. So when I finally came up to the car, I walked on into the gate. He opened the gate. I walked into the gate. And we started having a conversation from his door. He tried his best to convince me to go into that desert with him. He brushed off some stuff in his seat to try to get me to move. I told him I wasn't going to do so because, I'm not leaving the ladies at the gate. For one thing, he told me that it was out. That's how far. He said, well, like 20 miles. So he gave me this weird numbers, how many miles it is from there to this well site. So those are problematic as well. I told him I wouldn't do it, but then he started making this phone call, you guys, and say he would call Ken and let him know, that I still want to talk to him. And I told him, yeah, I want to speak to him. So he called him to let him know I was there again. And he knew I was there. Ken knew I was there. So the guy called him, and then when they was talking, whatever they're talking about, he told Ken to hold on. He drove his truck forward so I couldn't hear what they talked about. And then he backed up to that point right here where you see him, guys, back in this area, just to tell me that he said he's going to weigh up. When Ken showed up, this is the utility truck, you guys. It's a Weber truck. It's, like I told you guys, a white vehicle, white pickup truck type, but it was a utility truck. And the first thing he did when he got out of his vehicle, he stuck his hand in that door. That's why you see it's down like that. He pulled it down, and he put his hand in there, and he was talking to me from there. Like in my mind, he was thinking he had a weapon. One thing, or reaching for a weapon or looking for something. So the way his body language was that he was on the defensive. He later got comfortable in that conversation. Hey, I told him, hey, look, I'm just out here to, talk to you about my son. And just ask questions. It wasn't nothing. And the time was at 3:56, you guys. That was the timestamp time of this picture. And on that date, and I want to go back. That's why I want to correct that date. That date is 29th, you guys. It is the 29th. I want to go back and correct that date. Keep on meant to change on the other side. It's the 29th. That's why I look at the timestamp and get those dates right. I was 1 day behind. So instead of saying 2 days, I should say 3 days, right? And so the point is, you guys, this is the timestamp of when this picture was taken and the date when it was taken. So this is the picture, like I said. That's why you see the utility door. You know nobody's going to pull up to the gate and just pull the utility door down for no reason, right? But he did. He pulled it down. He got out of the vehicle. I mean, literally, got out of the vehicle, opened that hatch right there, and just stand there with his hand inside that compartment for some reason. I was watching him really good, and ready to fit myself and the ladies, my daughter, just in case. I didn't know this guy, but that's what his position was, his body language and all that on the defensive. He got comfortable. We had the conversation. Like I told you guys, I was able to get all the information. He told me exactly, word from word, what he told the officers. I mean, almost like it was perfect. Make a long story, until he got comfortable and started telling me all the other details. He went back over the storyline again and gave me all the extra details about he's staying left of the tracks to make sure he didn't disturb them. So that law enforcement gonna come look for, the police gonna come the police gonna come, and this thing was gonna turn national, right? Gonna turn really big. So, and then all the details about going through the gate, you guys already know that. The mileage getting out and things like that. So, all the stuff is documented. Things I wrote down as he's speaking. He also told me that there was no helicopter search out there. So that kind of backs up the reason why Phoenix is having a hard time finding this so-called Phoenix Firebird helicopter search. Because obviously, I don't know if it happened or they didn't do it in this area. They showed it come to the well site area where Daniel went missing. They definitely didn't have, Buckeye didn't come to that well out there when they said they did the search, because this guy said he was out there every day. That's why he was out there on this date to the 29th. Daniel went missing on the 23rd, and here it is the 29th. He's still working that well site every day, all day, right? And he said there was no police out there looking for Daniel. Nobody came to the well site, according to his testimony. Ken, that's one thing he said, right? So I don't know those things. This guy, his story is always weird or whatever the case may be. So that's one thing to take consideration. Well, but you know what? He said he didn't hear anything, see anything about no helicopter. So that's what made me weary at the time. I didn't know this guy. I didn't know he was lying or anything or had any opinion about it. Just on the fact that I just want to hear what he had to say and write the stuff down. That's what made me check about the Civil Air Patrol. Also, I started my grassroots search around July 3rd, 2021. And I want to tell you, thank you to all the people who worked tirelessly out there in that desert with me in the 118-degree weather. Really appreciate you guys. Like I said, thank you so much for being out there with me. So this is a picture where we were out there praying. pray. We often, a lot of times, pray when we before we go out to search, because we are a family out there in the search. And I really want to thank everybody who's been out there with me. June the 28th to July the 19th. The small details. I met with Ken, as you guys saw. To hear his account. Also, the Buckeye Police Department brought me and my daughter into the police station. They called us out there and they brought us through the back door. I'm gonna throw it out, then I have to say it exactly how it is. They brought us in through the back door, put us in interrogation room, and that's where we was able to hold my cell phone up. They can get they so-called saying we gave them information. We did not give them information like paperwork. They actually sat across the table and look at the phone and saying they got bank records and stuff. We didn't want to show them about the transaction on Daniel's account that registered as the date that he went missing on 23rd, and that was the transaction at the Shell station. You guys, Buckeye Police Department didn't know anything about that. That's the information we gave them, of course, and because they didn't go look for it. They didn't get a bank statements to do that. This only information they had is from what we showed them across the room on the table. Across the table in the interrogation room. Also, they listened in on a bank call I had with the USA Bank to get the information as well about that, and also the cell phone. Like I said, cell phone records again through my daughter's phone, looking at across the table. And we told them later on we'll try to see if we can get these things printed out and get it to them. But I don't have a recognition of or remembrance of ever getting them in a paper hard copy. So again, also on the 6th of July, the Buckeye Police Department say they did a welfare check, which they did. Those are some of the agreements we had. When I say we, Buckeye and myself, with the landlords there at Dane's apartment. So they had the agreement that law enforcement come in, the family we just couldn't come in, but they can go in and do this check. They can take pictures, but they can't touch anything. They have to be present. The landlords, they have two of them. I only have two officers that can come inside the resident, and they're there. So that's was able to do that. Buckeye Police Department took the pictures and got out of that apartment. Also, July the 8th, Namath's case was created. You guys, which is really far after Daniel went missing, but this is the date that Namath put as their date of creating this account, this case. I haven't had anything to do with that. I did reach out to them to get some DNA type stuff done, and that was later on in 2022. Also, July the 9th, Buckeye did a second search with the Civil Air Patrol. Again, the guys, I were there to kind of witness that, but some of the counts that they got on there, because I videotaped and took pictures, the counts that they put out on their report is inaccurate, is deceiving, and things like that. So I wouldn't take it for full face value. But they did do a search out there. I was there. They wouldn't let me in the desert to help. They blocked the gate, so I would not see what they actually was doing. But yeah, it was 5 vehicles, 5 pickup trucks that went. It wasn't a bit massive search like with cadaver dogs and all this other stuff. It is a 5 pickup truck with probably like 2 guys each truck. Went out into that desert to ride around and look. Also, they had a fixed wing aircraft or airplane that did one pass going back and forth, all going towards north, from south to north. I did videotape that as well. Also, July 12th, 2021, the Buckeye Police Department put out that information to the public of Daniel's disappearance. This is well after Daniel went missing, which I've been trying to get them to do more of that on day one. I say day 1, day 2. And as I was traveling from from South Carolina to Arizona, trying to get them to put information out into social media, to the news organizations. I did that. You guys, they did not put nothing out to the news organizations, even on this date, July 12th. The information was only public on their social media platform. But I've been doing interviews with the local news, reaching out with them. Also, you got here on 7/19, July 19, 2021, Daniel's Jeep showed up. It was found in that ravine. You guys know about that rancher who said the vehicle wasn't there on the 27th, 2-3 days before, he said, but it's on the 27th that the vehicle wasn't there. But the vehicle showed up when he went out there again on the on the 17th, you guys, the vehicle was there, but on the 19th, the vehicle showed up. So that's what his testimony was. Hey, the vehicle wasn't there 2 to 3 days before. He was out there on the 17th of July, searching for his cattle, and also the vehicle showed up when he came out there again on the 19th. He saw the vehicle in the same place that he went to search before for his cattle. This is it right here. The vehicle showed up 2017 Renegade that my son owned. July 19th was the most devastating day. This is the way I had to see my son's vehicle for the first time at the police compound. Never saw it at the scene. The Buckeye Police Department to give me the courtesy to show where my son was. The vehicle was found, but the chief of police, Larry Hall, had the courtesy to volunteers to show them where Daniel's vehicle was found. You guys can see things like Daniel's boot stuck up under this vehicle. That's the rancher was pointing out. Hey, if your son had to be a superhero, something to lift the vehicle up and put the boot on top of it. So one thing about criminal minds, like they say, is a dumb mind. They do dumb stuff and don't think. So they leave clues of where they mess up when they do things to try to stage. Interior of the vehicle. But also, you guys, the grassroots search for Daniel 2021. I started those searches, and one of the things we did when that vehicle came out, out there, showed up in that desert, we were searching that area, and this is one of the mines. There's a vertical mine that we found not too far from the crash site, between the crash site and also that corral that the rancher was talking about, where if you look a little, I think you can probably almost see it, but right in this area here, up here, is where this corral is located, right up in the area. So, we was able to search those things. Also, on July the 20th, 21, Buckeye told me that the vehicle was found. They told me almost 24 hours, over 24 hours after the vehicle was found, that it was found. You guys didn't ever take me to the scene. Had me to meet him at the police compound in the parking lot. Told me the details. Showed me two maps and one picture. Took me to their next facility where the vehicle stored, and told me I had to get that vehicle out of that property, or they have a total away and have to pay storage fees. So you guys know the story behind that. That's all at the same time when they gave me their second theory to what happened to my son. They believe happened to my son, that he may have just wanted to be away from his family and join a monastery to become a monk. Those was the second theory from the Buckeye Police Department. But and also the fact, while I was on that scene, really, really, really wanting me to touch this vehicle for whatever reason. Detective kept asking me to go ahead and look inside and open the doors and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Something I couldn't do because, guys, if you see this right here, this is your child, and you see something that looks like that, would you want to touch that? In my mind, seeing this vehicle, my son could be, whatever happened to my son, that happened to him. And I could see that, and it stunned me, to see something like that, versus the picture that Daniel gave me of his vehicle when he's so proud of it. He wanted me to see it for the first time in July. In this same month, we already had plans that I was coming to Arizona to spend time with him and his sisters, and he was going to let me drive in this vehicle. All right, so, all right, and let's see here. They told me how to get that vehicle out of there, or they had to pay storage fees. I asked the officer, Detective Biffin, to hold it for a few more days, 3 days, while I can figure out what I'm gonna do with it, find his creditors to get it out of there. You name it. And he finally agreed to that. But I had a meeting on the 22nd. But I did also call back to put a tarp on there because I saw something about rain. But definitely had a 22nd meeting with Chief Hall, Larry Hall, and his whole team. And I learned all the things, you guys, from the neglect that they did and the carelessness of how they handled my son's case. You guys, I have audio of Detective Biffin describing to me the reason why they didn't know forensics. This is before the meeting, describing to me the reasons why they didn't do any forensics on the scene, because they didn't see any reasons why they would need to, is what he told me. And those come straight out of his mouth. Also, they admitted that inside this meeting on the 22nd, that they did not do any forensics on the scene. I got outraged about that, and I asked them, so you guys see that in the report? The Buckeye did this swab, and I requested those things. I was angry I had a member friend of mine out there. He's an observer. Larnell, he was there to listen and observe. So he was there as a character witness as well as my own recordings for myself. And, those things. So I really had myself backed up to make sure I was hearing what I was hearing from the Buckeye Police Department. They also, Chief Hall gave me a partial report, unredacted, and he promised me, they said they were done with the case. He promised me that he was going to give me the full report once Detective Bifford finished writing it up, which they ended up doing, gave me everything, the pictures that he promised me to whatever, all on a flash drive. They delivered it to me. Also, before I left that meeting that day on the 22nd, Detective Bifford asked me to wait in the parking lot where he brought me everything from that scene in evidence bags, but it's marked for safekeeping. I didn't know at the time. I had it, he put it in my trunk, took it in my hotel room when I hired my investigator, who came on a day or two after that. I gave it all to him, and he the one explained to me what those markings on those bags were for the tags, marked for safekeeping, and what they really meant. The Buckeye Police Department, despite of them feeling like he had a brain injury to whatever the case may be, that he's gonna come back. He's no clothes on his body, walking in 118-degree weather in that desert. He's somehow coming back for his things because it's marked for safekeeping. That's what that means. Also, let me see. On the 23rd, Chief Hall and the rancher. Okay, you guys, that was that Saturday, and I may say this on 22nd, but I had to get those dates for you guys again. I'm gonna look on the calendar, double checking those dates. But it was that Saturday right after this 22nd that I definitely had to that Chief Hall and the rancher showed up for that search. It's Chief Hall that showed up first. The rancher showed up second, but Chief Hall showed up. Like I told you guys, when he got out of that truck, saying I didn't know he was coming. He got out that truck and he recognized me because I just had a meeting with him, right? Hey, how you doing, Mr. Robinson? And my daughter. And just walked past us like we were nobody, like we just some we was volunteers or something. And he started yelling out really quickly, "Hey, y'all!" To all the people standing around. Y'all want to know what this vehicle was found? Of course, volunteer people say, "Yeah," because they out there to find Daniel. They want to see. Yeah. And they started heading toward the car. No, come on, it's right over here. I mean, here it is, you guys. I felt like it was a setup because, first of all, my coordinator at the time, he just called me out the blue. So me and him already had plans where we're going to be meeting and volunteers going to meet because we have plans. That's how we organize the searches. I have meetings with my coordinator and we decide where we want to have volunteers to show up. I didn't know anything about this quarry area, this big area that we call the quarry, water basin or whatever you want to call it. I didn't know anything about that. But that morning he called me. That morning he said, "Hey man, I got another place that I want us to meet." Right? Didn't tell me the reason why. Okay, great. He said it's a bigger area. People can park their cars, blah blah, and so on. So, make a long story, I actually went there with my daughter and directed volunteers. They had Matrix New World workers stand at the gate to direct people into this area, and sure enough, he showed up. My then coordinator showed up late. I was like, "Why he's late? He never was late before." Of course, Chief Hall was following by. He was bringing Chief Hall in there. They came in there together, and I didn't know I was that close to Daniel, to the scene of the crime scene where my son vehicle showed up. I didn't know I was that close. I mean, literally, it was right there next to me over this hill. Chief Hall had us a walk over there, leading us like Moses, leading the people across the Red Sea. And we made it to this area. He pointed down the ravine and started grandstanding about the cartels and things I told you guys before. He made it sound like the cartels the one did something to my son, basically. And, how they dropped their drills down there at night on Sun Valley Parkway to, just going off until my daughter set me on the shoulder, said some guy wanted to speak to me. It was happened to be the rancher. He tell me, "Hey, I don't know why Chief Hall," he yell out Chief Hall in a way I wanted him to hear it. I don't know why he telling y'all this lies, telling y'all the wrong place. That's how he put it. The vehicle's found here. Chief Hall turned red in the face, stopped talking immediately, turned red in the face, and left. Never came back again to a search ever. And so, like I'm saying, hindsight, looking back at those days, man, I'm thinking like this guy, once I get left out of that desert, he's selling the story to me somehow. Somebody's selling the story to me. Want me to believe that this vehicle is here. Now you can look hindsight with all the information that was given from my investigator, that it's a stage event, you wonder why they are really forcing the issue to say this vehicle is here. I want to teach you this vehicle was here, and it's not. It's only make common sense, you guys. Like I told you guys on previous Q&As, God gave us one thing in common: humans, common sense. But some people use them, sometimes they don't. Common sense would tell you nobody can sit on. Let me go right here if I can, you guys. Nobody can sit in this seat right here in this vehicle, sitting on the side, and sit in the driver's seat with this airbags pop out and all this kind of stuff, and supposedly roll and flip and all this stuff they claiming, and he holding the brake pedal down and pushing the button to crank it up 46 times. They want you to believe that. Sit in the seatbelt or not, you're gonna sit in this vehicle sideways like that. The passenger side lying on the ground, and you're actually sitting in there cranking the vehicle up 46 times after the first crash. They want you to believe superhero stuff like that. He kicked his way out of the sunroof, which has a locker mechanism that you have to use a key that's in the back of the vehicle. I showed you guys that before too on this Q&A. So there's a lot of little details, you guys, that with that, you can just put the common sense together. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. So why you want to try? And also the fact they're going against their own searches. They say they did this search so well. Even Maricopa County putting a stamp onto it. You did the search so well, right? And the vehicle showed up after you did a search so well. You said your vehicle showed up in the same spot. And then what the excuses was when you pointed out to them that, it was so lush and so the terrain was so, I'm gonna go back again to the terrain. This is like a terrain, you guys, with a whole bunch of lushness. I tell you what, that twigs on the ground is probably about come knee high, if that. That's not no lushness, and you can't see from the sky and all the stuff. Those are lies. Those are cover-ups. Reasons why they did not go out there, or this vehicle wasn't there. The whole bottom line. So just use a bit of common sense. All right. Also, let me see here what I got here next. And let's see the Buckeye partial report. They gave me the partial report. I told you guys they also gave me the full report unredacted, and they said it was done. They told my investigator as well when he got hired on, when they gave him the black box data that he read to them. All the information came from my investigator, who read their information back to them that they did not know, or something out of other didn't read for themselves. But they told him directly they was not investigating Daniel's case any longer. They're not investigating at all. So that's why they gave us everything. They was done with Daniel's case until it became national. Also, let me see here. On 29th of July, we found human remains. Also, that was a human skull. Of course, guys, we was finding human remains before the human skull, but the human skull was found. It was one of those big things for law enforcement. But yeah, the human skulls and other remains were found prior to that in that area. Also, July 30th, 2021, I received death threats after that point. So we started pointing out some things that was inconsistent with the report, and also the point of that this is a stage event. That's when my investigators started talking about stage event and things like that. That quickly started escalating to my opinion, probably where the death threats started coming from. Also, I did report those to the FBI, who took a report, but also told me that I had to. I don't know how it was related that way, but this was death threat directly to me that I reported to the FBI, who told me we're taking the report, but we can't do nothing about it unless Buckeye. So you got a case with your son, a case of missing, or whatever the case may be. Let's Buckeye invite us in, or something crazy like that, right? I mentioned out to Buckeye, reach out to them, told them what happened, what's going on, gave them information, to know where the threat come from, and they did nothing with it. And Chief Hall later in 2022 pretend like he never knew about it, which it don't matter. His officers knew about it as well, and but they haven't done anything to this date. Events. Also, August the 21st, 2021, I did a special targeted search with canines. You guys, again, I'm going to be able to share some of those with you guys as well. The canine information, or the canine search that I had out there, located so a suspicious tree near where the crime scene is there at. The dogs alerted on this tree each time, and separate dogs each time. So that's something that had to be looked into as well. But that's not for the Buckeye. Also, I had a family press conference, you guys, on September 26, 2021. Of course, you guys, I showed you this morning. Dane's mother his older brother, myself, and a lot of other people who were supporting in the back there. My investigators there as well, my 2 daughters. But the press conference was to get some action from the Buckeye Police Department. It was a cry for action. I mean, I was tired, I was frustrated, I was angry, all at one time, you guys. And Dane's mother going through a lot, his siblings, and this department knew I was coming there on that Saturday. I didn't know until one of the ladies came up to speak that it was actually closed. I told y'all that this morning, like Mayberry, it was closed. I thought I was actually making a difference with this Buckeye Police Department, and by being in front of their door, right behind us is their front entrance to their door to the police department, and they now don't even work on the weekends. I don't know that crime stop on the weekends, but in Buckeye, but that might be the reason why they have high crime stats. But the thing is, they haven't been working on the weekend where it was closed. The office was closed on the weekend. Also, you guys, I'm going kind of quickly, guys. I'm at the hour mark now, and I want to get to your questions. August 25th, 2021. You guys, I received 25th. I received the tip from Idawood, California, and that was the tip of a possible sighting of Daniel. Lady was really believed that she seen Daniel, spoke with Daniel, gave him some type of apple or something. She said she gave him, but the whole thing is we had to go do follow up on that. The California, as well as this one in Sedona. We had to do a follow up on that from a record store in Sedona. A gentleman there was 1,000% sure that was Daniel. To make a long story short, 1,000%. Once we found out he was 1,000% sure, but he waited over 2 weeks or so to even say anything about it. For one thing, the other part is we did go look for cameras. There was no camera in the store, no camera, this, that, blah, blah. To make it a long story, those leads did not fan out. Also, excuse me, on the September the 9th, 7th, 2021, my investigator turned over all our findings. We wanted to take it to the FBI from things that we found that suggested foul play. Those presses on the windshield, those 2 impressions that that was made by blunt objects. It wasn't made by the terrain. It was made by blunt objects. Somebody's trying to beat the windshield in, as like an attack, you guys. Whether it was a boulder or something heavy like a rich solid, but it was definitely or a bat or something. But it was something definitely smashed into the windshield, not coming the other way. And also the fact it wasn't created by ground or things like that. So that's one of the indications, the reason why. There's also the red transfer paint, also the other damage that didn't match terrain where this vehicle was so-called found, right? So to make a long story with that, with all the other information as well, that put that vehicle outside of that desert, the 11 additional miles to the 4 to 6 initial cycles, the time of day, etc. Put it outside of that place. Of course, you guys already know prior to that, we do have a report into someone seen a vehicle that appears to be Daniel's. I wanted to put that on the Q&A tonight too as well. I forgot about it, but I will put it again on the next timeline. I'll talk about the timeline again. But the picture of a really blurry picture of the vehicle that was found on the side of the road, and the ironically to that picture, you guys, that picture is of. I would go off on a limb and say it's a picture of Daniel's vehicle sitting on the side of the road. And the reason why I'm really confident into that, because where this vehicle is located at a place where you have to pass this location to get to the first well site, and you have to pass the location to get out. There's no way in and out. The end of this road is the well site, the first well site. The other end of the road where the vehicle is found is also the same road with the well site. There's no other road to get to this well site, and no other back way, no other. You have to pass this location where this vehicle is found to get to this well site, the first well site. So those indications right there tells me a lot. But that's things that law enforcement is purposely ignoring. They purposely told me think about this. That's not something. And then they come out in public and say, well, it's not his vehicle because the rims are different. From a blurry picture, you saying the rims are different. So the rims are not different. First of all, the other part, you guys, is it has the characteristic and the shape and the looks of Daniel's vehicle, and those are things that should be taken into consideration as well. 2 days later, magically the vehicle showed up in the desert. Also, let's see here. I interviewed the rancher at my hotel on the 16th of September 2021. My investigator just so happened to have been on the way to my hotel for a different reason, and so once he got there, he was able to also speak with the rancher. We got a lot of information, so much information from him. Also, September 26th, 2021. I had a family press conference. You guys seen that at the Buckeye Police Department. I just showed you that, as well as September the 28th, 2021. The Buckeye Police Department hired their own PI. After we gave them the information, you guys, we turned that stuff on the 7th. By the 28th, they had their own investigator out there, to look at their pictures they took at the scene, the same pictures they gave me, and to the ones that you've seen as well, to do an investigation based on pictures, and have never ever seen my son's vehicle. Never seen this vehicle. Never examined it or anything else, but able to feel like he can make a report, right? Also, also on October the 6th, 2021, a former search coordinator brought second person to who last seen Daniel on the 23rd, right? Um, June 23rd. And but the thing is, you guys, of course, I'm not gonna go over that because I want to get to these questions, but we already know that that person didn't fan out. Matter of fact, he's more of a suspect than anything. He's never was a federal law enforcement agent. He's denied it once. He had to talk to law enforcement. He actually showed us a badge. He showed me a badge when he introduced himself as a officer. We had some officers coming out of California who also told me, say they saw he showed them the badge, and they said no, they believe his badge is fake. That was telling me in the back, but that's during the time I was waiting on my investigator um, to back up his who he is as a person, if, validate if he did indeed was the last person that was out there to see my son. But again, my investigator at the time told me yes, and we went with it until I found out later that it was not true. Also, let's see who else I got here. October the 18th, 2021, Buckeye Police Department private investigator released their report. Right after that, you guys, there was if you think about it, they hired him on the 28th, and by the 18th, he released his report. Also, you guys, I'll show you the billboards, and I will tell you thank you again. I just want to keep telling you guys thank you for everything you guys have done. Thank you, Lamar, for giving us a good deal. But these are the billboard. There's, like I said, excuse me, there was on the from the east side of Phoenix all the way out to the west of Phoenix. They're also in Phoenix. So it had those billboards, I-10, mostly. I think I-17 was the other one. And so hold on a second, you guys. Okay, I want to apologize, you guys. Sometimes I have issues with my throat when I start coughing things. So, but yes, thank you guys for holding on. But yeah, I'm really grateful for everybody who donated. They helped me get those flyers out. Get those flyers out as well as get these billboards up. Like I said, from the east side of Phoenix, all the way out to the west side of Phoenix. Also in Phoenix area. That was very important. This was very crucial to locating my son, and I needed those. So, excuse me, guys. I want to make sure I get back to that. All right, another billboard as well. Location where the billboards. I mean, I thought it was really the color and things that we chose. Try to get something to kind of match the website, and try to get something to match the website, and so people can catch people attention as they come down the road. So just want to tell you guys, like I said again, thank you again for your love and support. Thank you for helping us financially to be able to do that. also to conduct the searches, to get out these flyers, to travel, and like I said, to keep my boots on the ground. That was one of the biggest part when I first started GoFundMe, was to try to find ways to be able to keep my boots on the ground, meaning to remain in Arizona. I have my obligations to South Carolina as well. I have a daughter there as well as a home, and you guys was able to keep me in Arizona. So I really appreciate it. Also, you guys, let me see here. Let me get this thing going again. All right, back to the timeline, and then I'll get to the questions, you guys. I'm trying to get those right after this one. Um, November 6th, 2021, police help find a search for Daniel, led by me, of course, found more human remains. I talked to y'all about that this morning. Very troubling because it was one of those fresher type remains. Um, the first time I've seen Buckeye make anything a crime scene. And so for that to happen with Buckeye, yeah, that was a big deal. To actually see them actually make a crime scene. They tried to call it animal remains, you guys. Like I told you, it was never out resisting. Once the case became national, they started bringing those numbers down of the remains they found. We was all up to near 7 people out there located, bring closer to other people's family. But once, like I said, it started getting out in the public more with this nationality. They was fighting to get those numbers down. As you probably hear right now, they will say, "Oh yeah, it was only 2 persons or something," right? They'll try to say that. But the whole point is those are people, families out there. I'm hoping that the law enforcement did the right thing. I thought they should close the whole place down and make it a crime scene and get the FBI out there and get these people remains out of that desert. But that's me. But I'm hoping they do the right thing. And the ones that we did find, because we have gone back over some areas before that they told us was human remains. We marked, of course, gave them the coordinates, and we go back out over it again, do a second search of that area, because sometimes we often do that, and those remains still sitting on the ground. Volunteers find it, say, "Oh," and then in my mind thinking, that, "Yeah, we already have that documented," but I don't tell them that. I send it back up to Buckeye again, and we hope that they actually come out and recover those remains. But this time they had no choice. Like I said, you guys, they say there was animal remains. I got really uptight about it, made a big deal about it, and forced them to send it over to the Maricopa County's medical examiner's office. The pictures that they said the first time, they tried to even deny the pictures at the first, like, "Oh, we didn't receive them somehow." Oh, they received them. They just didn't want those human remains. And then it came back 3 hours later, all human remains. Like I said, they made a crime scene and called me back less than 40 minutes on the way back to Phoenix and told me that they're not Daniel's because it's not a black man's bones. And I told y'all that this morning. I'm not a pathologist and things like that, but I thought we was all human. And I don't know how he say they can determine, and they unless they're scientists themselves, determine in short minute time, less than 40 minutes, determine it's not. Now, so hoping that it's Daniel, of course, you guys. But what they're saying based on it being a black man's or somebody else's bones, that type deal. It's not a black man's bone. I don't know the real science behind that. Also, let me see, 11/11/2021, November 11th, 2021, I received ransom emails. You guys, you can tell that death threats. I've been getting emails. I still get those emails where people try to ransom you out of money for information um, for Daniel, basically, or swap, I give you this, you give me that type deal. Also, November 16, 2021, I sent a letter out to Chief Hall requesting that for my son case, the FBI into my son case. You guys know how that went. They decided to do that case briefing without me, even though we requested it for the same day of his response. And they did this one in secret behind my back. I don't know what they told the FBI, but according to them, the FBI said, when I say them, the Buckeye Police Department, they saying they're saying that the FBI felt that I was doing such a great job on my own that they didn't have to come in. Also, 11/23/21, after my letter of request, Chief Hall did have the FBI briefing without me, right? Also, November 26, 2021, my investigator and I follow up on the Leeds and Flagstaff as possible sighting. Another possible sighting. Somebody thought they saw Daniel in Flagstaff. We follow up with that. That didn't fan out as well. 12/26/2021, my investigator quit working on Daniel's case. Guys, I explained to y'all this morning the reason why he quit. Unfortunately, he did in that way. Of course, it didn't make me feel good the way that happened. But things happen. All right. Also, February 23rd, 2022, my team member and I attended the Buckeye Police Department, Buckeye City of Buckeye City Council meeting. And that was just Larnell and I did that together. And to let Buckeye know that I was in town. In other words, you're just not going to ignore me. Also, March 15, 2022, I sent a letter to the Buckeye Police Department City Council on Daniel's case. Try to, again, reach out to the city council, reach out to the city managers, the mayor, and they ignore you. Like I'm saying, those people are very cruel, heartless, and don't have any kind of empathy for others. It shows. And lastly, you guys, I just wanted to put this up as a kind of like visual and also a day of remembrance. Those are two events that one, Daniel, they have remembered, kind of like visual in honor of Daniel, but also help with other families as well, as the Day of Remembrance did as well, bringing awareness to the cases of the missing. Those who have family members out there, there's a lot of people, go through the unfortunate thing having a missing loved one. And it's very painful. So again, thank you guys for going with me through the timeline. We'll be adding new things to that, and we'll be talking about those on the next another Q&A. Also, again, thank you, Anissa, for the super chats as well. If you guys have any questions, please, you guys, by all means, have any questions, please utilize the capital Q, the word question, the question marks, etc. Just please, by all means, saying ask your question. I'd like to come down to the comment section and find those. So again, thank you. I really appreciate it. So also, thank you again, Sophia, for putting information out here. You guys can sign the petition. Go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and you go to sign the petition button, or go to change.org here. She had the link in the chats. Thanks, Sophia, for putting that out for that, because that's very important for things that we'll be doing. It's always important. I actually have that backing every time, you guys, when you guys sign that petition. Things I'm doing out there, I always have that backing from you guys. Also, thank you, Mary Beth, for being here, and thank you so much for your prayers. God bless you. Thank you, Sophia, again, for the information. It's 125,588 voices that have spoken on that petition. So again, thank you. Also, let me see here who I got here. If you guys have any questions, again, like Willie have here, please do what Willie have. Some question marks, the word question, or the capital letter Q before your question. That'll help me as I'm coming down to locate it. A few people online who say they are in contact with the Buckeye Police Department have said that the family had a wellness check done on Daniel before he went missing on the 23rd. Is this information true? To say the Buckeye Police said they had that the family had a wellness check on Daniel done on Daniel. No, that is not true. Before the 23rd, no, we did not have a wellness check on Daniel. They probably getting that mixed up with the day before Daniel went missing on the 22nd, when when Daniel put the emergency thing to his sister. Something they have, a code they have with something to go wrong. They text each other and they'll know. So that's something they did, created among themselves. You guys, they two people from South Carolina, and they brothers and sisters. So of course they're gonna have that kind of thing set up, which I'm grateful. But no, that's probably some misinformation there. That's never been a welfare check done prior to Daniel going missing. Okay, I have a question here from Country Girl. Let me put my glasses on, you guys. Country Girl Okay, here we go. Have you asked Matrix if they have equipment, cameras, etc., to go back in that well? They probably don't. So they had to hire outside agency or company or whatever to go back in that well. But you know what? Buckeye been in that well. Country girl, if you not know what happened recently, Buckeye went into that well, pulled all that stuff out of there. I don't know what they pulled out of there. They say they pulled the stuff out of there. I don't think they showed on social media. I've seen. They didn't come to me. They put it on social media with some nuts and bolts and screws and probably some pocket change or something. They're trying to say was in that well. But you guys seen the video of the stuff that was in that well. He didn't mention it to me at all when I talked to him on the phone about it. Or anything. He said it may sound like pocket. Oh, we just found a couple of screws and nuts and bolts or whatever. Didn't say anything about the chain link fence and all that kind of stuff. That stuff that was down in there in that well that was thrown in there to get an appearance of somebody's hiding something. The sand, the dirt, the tons of mounds of dirt that was found, and then the dirt that come from that mound outside the well, etc. So don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button, you guys. Very important to this channel. I really appreciate each and every last one of you who have who have been supporting this whole efforts for Daniel. I really appreciate it, you guys. But definitely, I want to make sure that you guys hit that like, share, subscribe button. That will help with the algorithms for this channel to grow. I've been trying to make sure I'm growing this channel to get Daniel's story out as far as I can. The more people on this channel help me out. Okay, I apologize, you guys. I got the thing playing on the background, but you know what, you guys. But definitely, yeah. This one I want to make sure that I'm getting Daniel's story out there as far as I can. We have 2.46 thousand subscribers, and I remember I only had a few, and I'm really grateful for you guys getting it up to this point. But we're not done yet, because definitely if we can get up a lot higher, we definitely can reach out to more people, and also to be able to help other families whenever. Again, I can finally get someone to come on to share their story, because there's many people out there. So, and I'm willing to do that, and I want to do that as well. Also, thank you, Mary Ellen, for your question. Have you all checked the White Tank Mountain area near Tohono Reservation? I never heard of that. I've been hearing a lot about the reservations and things like that, but I never no. The short answer to that, no. Not I don't know where it's located, but I know the White Tank Mountains are, because it's right across from where Daniel went missing. Hugs, love, and prayers for Daniel and his family. Thanks so much, SW. I really appreciate that. Let's see if I have any more questions, you guys. Okay, Marine, thank you so much. Why did the Buckeye Police Department? Thanks so much for being here. First of all, why did the Buckeye Police Department say you had to wait 3 hours before reporting Daniel as missing? I do not know. I think that's something that law enforcement have a history of, creating these non policies when they're telling people they need to wait for this and wait for that. I call it laziness. It's a good way to not do anything while you're on the clock, in my opinion. Also, if they're not doing that, they also don't understand the urgency it is when you need to get the ball rolling. Maybe they're thinking that a family didn't do their due diligence like we have, or a family don't know their loved one. They're making their own assumptions, like maybe they want to disappear on their own or something. Whatever it was, yeah, that's one of the things that was really troubling to me. I didn't know at the time, of course. Somebody said, "Hey, you got to wait 3 hours." I don't know if it's a policy or law or what. I never had missed a person before, so of course I waited those 3 hours. It's a hard thing to do, but yes, especially when you know something wrong, you need some urgency going. That contradicted the policy on their website. Yes, again, you're right. The policy on their website is totally different, and that's nothing. There's nothing on their policy that says that. Right here, you guys. Since you said that, I'm going to put it up real quick here. Policies don't say anything to support what the Buckeye Police Department had put up here, just like you said. So, of course, if you was to go through here, you guys, you're probably not that clear on your end. So I'm going to spare you guys of this. But if you go on this the website, you're right. There's a Buckeye policy manual on missing persons. You guys can go through here and you can see all the stuff that if you go through here and see and compare that with how they handled my son's case. Yeah, it's horrible. To make a long story short, it's really bad. They're going against their own rules and things that they put up, their policies and things they have done and the way they have done it. They violated a lot. So thank you so much for putting that up there. That question. Also, excuse me, they do contradict their own policy. The Buckeye Police Department, a major crimes unit, investigate missing persons cases. Department policies allow for loved ones to report a missing person immediately. Yeah, I found that out high in sight, and that's the reason why I took that policy down and made a copy for myself because that's not the way it was given to me, and they didn't give me the opportunity. I'm from South Carolina at the time, was in South Carolina, and don't know their policies or anything. I'm just trying to get help for my son. Excuse me. Was Daniel apartment? Thank you so much, Country Girl, for your question. Was Daniel's apartment key with his Jeep keys? To this date, I don't know what Daniel keys are. And when I start thinking about it, I said something like that before in the Q&A. Somebody asked before, and I started thinking about I don't know. Mr. McGrath, he dealt with that stuff. Those things are in evidence bags. Like I told you guys, anything in that evidence bag, anything, the vehicle itself, I don't go around it. I don't touch it. I don't fumble around with things and stuff like that. So I don't know what's in those bags and things like that. I'm assuming because my investigator, he said something about the vehicle keys or something out of it. So, was there. So I'm assuming the house keys probably there as well with the vehicle keys. But yeah, I don't know. I would find out those things some other time. My investigator, like I said, I try to be really nice about it. It's just that I don't have anything in the real report to say anything about certain little details when it comes to things like that I should know from an investigator that you hired. Also, Marine, thanks so much again. Also, which district covers Daniel's case? We say district. I don't know if you mean the county, because of course that's Maricopa County, but district, I'm not sure. But only one I know is the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. When you say district, I just know the area, uh, county wise, but I don't know the answer to that one. All right, Karita, thanks so much for being here as well. Everything you do, I really appreciate you. Thanks so much for your question. Can you create a timeline of events or your own report and post it on the website on social media for easy sharing? Yes, and that way we can have your archives. Yes, definitely. And that's the thing, Karita, you may know, you probably be a part of that as well if you want to. The team and I are getting together to put those things together. So I will have what I said this at the beginning. I've been saying this in 2021. I'm going to put a family report together. And when I say family report, it'll be some of these things that you guys you see on this timeline tonight, and a lot more, because there's a lot more to go add into that. Some things I just purposely not add in because they'll be part of the investigative stuff, and also some things just go straight to law enforcement, but it's not public stuff. So, Karita, yeah, you'll get some of that as well. Also, thanks for the question. Also, Mary, thanks so much for your question. Did the canines smell Daniel's clothing before the search? And that's the canines we use. Yes, utilize Daniel's items, right? So from his house, from his apartment, but the canines with Buckeye Police Department in Maricopa County, I don't know, because they claiming these clothes that my family and I don't identify is Daniel's. So they had, like you said, clothing items they can go by. They said this is exactly what they told me, report wise, is those dogs did not track anything. They ain't see no footprint, and wasn't able to. Tracking dogs can find nothing. Make a long story short, these supposed to be good dogs from Maricopa County. They saying, of course, the rancher says only one dog, but they arguing trying to say, but anyway, bottom line is, no, they didn't find anything, didn't learn anything, and but our dogs did, and coming from the same place they claim they search with the Maricopa County dogs. So, but I will put that report on this Q&A as well. That's one thing I can release to the public, and I'm going to do that really soon. I want to do it tonight, but I'm trying to find a way to put it on here, the StreamYard, so you guys can see that. But anyway, but yeah, they utilized the clothing. We did. I don't know about Buck. I can't speak for the Buckeye Police Department in the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. Also, MP, thank you so much for being here this evening. Have you reached out to the APS for any reports of power line survey or a power line survey? There's a substation near where the car is found. Maybe surveyors of the power line saw something that summer. You know what? I reached out to that company and that owns the substation. That power plant that's not too far from that area. I know it's a good distance, but you can see it from that area. But anyway, they keep telling me, "Oh, yeah, we get back to you." Basically, I've been trying to get camera footage if they had any. Couldn't get nothing from them directly. So we literally, physically I'll use my binoculars to everything, looking at every inch of that place to see if any cameras there to get any footages or whatever the case may be. Never found anything. Which is really not normal to me when there's a power station, because somebody damaged that grid. They'll take out all electricity in Festival and Surprise, all that area. They would not have electricity, and that's an infrastructure, and I know that they have to be protected, and it's impossible to say to me, there's no cameras, but I didn't see any. Couldn't locate any out there. And it's like you saying, just reaching out to the company itself is like pulling teeth out, pulling teeth trying to get information. Let's see. Dog Defender. Thanks so much again for being here. The Buckeye Police Department are also spreading information that Daniel was not well. Everyone was aware he threatened to do self-harm, and that everyone is hiding it. Daniel never, and you said the Buckeye Police Department put something like that out there. Never. So I would like to see that, because Buckeye Police Department put out false information. I would like to see that as well. I said that that was BS. They need to speak to you. Yes, they sure do, because I would like to see that, because no, that's a lie. That's never have happened before. Daniel did not have any history of mental illness or anything like that. He never had anything where he threatened to do harm to himself ever in his life. So I can clearly say those. Also, let me see any more questions. No. If you guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Dog Defender, I will be looking into that. If you can, give me some information on that. Please help find Daniel@yahoo.com. I want to hear if you got something directly saying Buckeye said this. I really definitely need that. I really appreciate it. Also, Kat Bosick, thanks so much for coming out tonight with this question. And you caught me just in time. Can you tell us more about the tree that dog alerted on? What type and size of the tree it was? Do you have pictures of the tree or location? Yeah, we have those informations, but I will put some of the stuff out that we have that I have on, like I said, on that report, so you can get those when I put it on the Q&A. But definitely, definitely, dogs did alert on the tree near that area where the vehicle's found, right, staged. And I see you say you have it for me, Dr. Defender. Thank you so much. I really look forward to having that. Let's see. And thank you to Kat. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I think that's it for the questioning. I don't see any more. I really appreciate you guys for listening on this timeline. Like I said again, lastly, I want to really put out that we will have those PDFs out for you guys to be able to mail those letters out. We need those letters to all. We want to make sure it's a mailing event, because we want to make sure that those letters all come in to those departments at one time. We want to flood them with these letters, so be able to do that. To get these this movement, and also, I told you guys in the past, protesters are never out of the picture. I did have some discussion with the Maricopa County that allowed me to put it on pause for now, or delay But it's just it didn't just go away, and I hope that they don't have mistaken themselves thinking it just went away somehow, because um, they did a search that Buckeye is trying to take credit for. But anyway, yes, but thank you so much, Dr. Fender. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing more information about that. And let's see who got this here. They are spreading information to people they work with, saying they are or calls to Tippy PD about his mental health before he went missing. Yeah, you know what? That's weird. But there's some stuff that that like, man, I would like to get the information about this kind of stuff. Spreading that kind of stuff and saying this and that and blah blah blah. But one of the biggest part is, also that's very disrespectful if they are doing things like that, is that the Buckeye Police Department don't reach out to the family, right? So that's one of the things as well. Don't reach out. So that's very disrespectful, like Chief Hall did when he came out grandstanding to show volunteers where my son's vehicle was located, and then show me and my daughter, prior. So that kind of stuff. Just very disrespectful people. Buckeye Police Department tried to take credit for everything you've done. Yes, they have, and but we'll keep on fighting and keep on keep on going forward, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dr. Finn, for putting that information out and let me be aware of that. Team and I will be looking at that, and we'll go forward from that point. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate it again. God bless you. See you on the next Q&A. I'll see some of you guys on the Ambassador Program Zoom meeting tomorrow. But thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Talk to y'all soon.